Before I get started with the story, let me give a shout out to Craig J for sending it to me, and it is coming out of South Carolina, and it was posted on September 28th, 2021, and is being recorded on September 30th, 2021. So in this picture, you see a woman by the name of Linda Monette and a little boy by the name of Mason Hanahan. And they said that she has been sentenced to 40 years in prison for staging a home invasion that killed her boyfriend's 8-year-old son. Let's get into it. Despite a murder conviction in the case of slain 8-year-old boy, authorities in South Carolina still don't know who actually pulled the trigger. Linda Monette, age 25, was sentenced on Friday to 40 years in prison in a case where another suspect shot and killed young Mason Hanahan, said the 11th Circuit Solicitor's Office in South Carolina. Monette had helped stage a home invasion to steal drugs and money from her boyfriend, who was the child's father, authorities have said. Monette had attempted to pose as a helpless bystander, the plan being to have a gun held at her head. During closing arguments, Deputy Solicitor Suzanne Mays addressed Monette's guilt under the hand of one is the hand of all legal principle in South Carolina, said the solicitor's office. In other words, it didn't really matter who pulled the trigger. In the eyes of the law, everyone was similarly guilty. One well-cited South Carolina Supreme Court case explains, under the hand of one is the hand of all theory. One who joins with another to accomplish an illegal purpose is liable criminally for everything done by his confederate incidental to the execution of the common design and purpose. Several other key South Carolina cases also expound upon the principle. Several of those cases note that it is well settled under South Carolina law that a defendant may be convicted on a theory of accomplice liability, pursuant of an indictment charging him only with principal offense. And yet another case explains when the law does not allow co-defendants to be swept into the vast web of criminal culpability, internal punctuation cleaned up. Mere presence and prior knowledge that a crime was going to be committed without more is sufficient to constitute guilt. Rather, presence at the scene of a crime by prearrangement to aid, encourage, or abet in the perpetration of the crime constitutes guilt as a principle. Jurors found Monette guilty of charges including murder, criminal conspiracy, and burglary in the first degree. The murder of Mason Hanahan has been the intense focus of our entire office for over 2 years, said 11th Circuit Solicitor Rick Hubbard. The lifelong impact of this crime on Mason's family, baseball teammates, and the Oak Grove community has been immeasurable. A shootout ended with Hanahan dead and his father injured. Ammunition from the other suspect's gun killed young Hanahan, the autopsy determined, according to Columbia, South Carolina NBC affiliate WIS-TV. Mason Hanahan was a second-grade student at Oak Grove Elementary and a standout player on the Pineview-Dixie youth baseball team. Mason had dreams of becoming a professional baseball player and had been selected to the Dixie Youth All-Star team a week before his death. After the shooting, investigators soon put their attention on Monette, who prosecutors said made multiple inconsistent statements. Authorities looked at her ties to local gang members, they said. During a voluntary interview on May 17, 2019, with Lexington County Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Marlo McCann and Detective Joe Hart, Monette admitted that she conspired with others to commit the staged home invasion and have a gun held at her head as part of the plan for a robbery. In other words, it was an inside job. Monette and Mason's father were in a relationship at the time of the incident, Lexington County Sheriff's spokesman Captain Adam Merrick told Law and Crime in an email. It was routine for her to stay at the Hanahan home. The child's mother had said the boy was staying over at his father's place after baseball practice. The last time she saw him was when he was helping him get ready for school. We're all devastated, Tyler Hanahan told WIS in 2019. I keep thinking this is not real and I'm going to be able to pick him up and take him to school. Merrick told Law and Crime that investigators are still looking for the actual shooter. We really don't have much to go on, he wrote in an email after we asked for more information. We know the home invasion was staged and arranged, in part by Monette. As for details on the other person who was at the home and fired shots the night of the incident, our work continues on that part of the case. We believe people in the community who know who that person is, and we encourage them to come forward and share that with us. Let's see. It says the shooting resulted in a separate and tangential charges against Mason's father, Austin Graham Hanahan. He was accused of selling illegal drugs. The elder Hanahan was arrested in 2019 for a count each of possession with intent to distribute marijuana and unlawful conduct to a child. His attorney of record did not immediately respond to long crime requests for comment. It just seems like everyone around that kid failed him, all in all. However, this is a rightful conviction, so that means that she will not be out of jail until she is 65, if she even lives that long, to be quite honest. That's crazy. So she staged that whole thing to steal drugs and money, and it ends up with a little boy being dead. So what I'm going to do right quick is I'm going to pause it right quick, because I see another picture with a mugshot of her and somebody else. So I saw this other picture. This is, of course, her, but this is another person as well. I believe they said his name is Romero. I didn't catch his last name. Apparently, they said he was also there. They didn't say he pulled the trigger or anything like that. So it's still a mystery of who did it, because, you know, all of them were there. So it sounds like to me that it was most likely a third person that's there, and they don't know where that third person is at. But I just wanted to throw this little piece in here to add that in. But good thing that she was found guilty, and hopefully she has some of the worst times while behind bars. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.